I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is June 30, Monday, 2025. Hope you had a good day, good weekend here. So now they're doing it. We had already hit the all-time highs already before even 9:30. I mentioned in Friday's video, go watch it. I said that we would probably gap up and go to the all-time high, and that's exactly what we did. But because of that, we expect bullishness, and also because we hit that, we also expect a retracement back in. Very simple. For example, a higher high to a higher low. But the way they did it today was super dirty and very difficult. And hope everyone is okay because this shit was very difficult. But I had this explanation already of this projection 3.5 to 4. I had another one there. I deleted it, but and then as you see, we gapped up. I'm on the 15-minute to the left here. We gapped up, went straight to it, dangled around. And just like when we went that high, we came up and when we rejected from it. Obviously, there's late buyers. And how can you be involved in this? Look at these bastards. Oh, I love it. They're fucking crooks. So here's the deal, right? We get this high, and then we get this low, and then we break it. Right? When we break it, we expect a retracement back in. This is how I get involved here. All right. So we get this little breakout area here. We come right back in. You see this 1 minute imbalance right here. Let me fix my, hold on a second. What's it called? Right there. No wick on that candle. And then we dig in right there. Boom, right there. Break again. Another imbalance. I didn't highlight that one. I highlighted this one. And then 9:30, we're already like tagging that imbalance right there, which is, I'm going to tell you, the 9:28. So green levels here, very key for today, very key to. That's why I left it on the chart. So that's a lower high than this all-time high, obviously, but we are looking at that as we're coming through it and we're busting through. Basically, we're looking for a basic retracement. This is not anything complicating, but the way they delivered it was very complicating. But I'm going to do it from here. Up here. Okay. Whoops. Ooh. Retracement back. 3 drives. Very dirty. Using Trump's tweet about... or not Trump's tweet, but whatever they were talking about with the EU, accepting their deal or whatever the fuck. But all right, so that's the structure there, right? But it's ugly. How? Yeah, I'm gonna zoom out. Got to make videos short, but drive 1 came right back to the first imbalance. Drive 2, and they used this dirty ass wicks to do it. Fucking dirty. I mean, super dirty. And then lower high again, final drive, bust through, using this as support, just going now for another all-time high. But in this structure here, this obviously this is how they did it. I'm going to do this again. You'll see here, well, that was the break. So I'm going to do this internally here. Come on. Whatever. All right. Break right there. Lower high. 3 drives here for the leg, lower low. Dirty here. Look at this. This is all just coming up for a lower high. And then I'm going to change the color. Lower low. Lower high. Lower low. Break. Let me just change the color so it doesn't look crazy as hell. We'll use blue here. Okay, so you see that? It's kind of, is it hard to see? I don't know. It's not hard to see here well, sort of. On the 15-minute, it would probably look a little bit better. Let me do that. What's going on here? Okay, so you'll see on the 15-minute, the same push up, right? Same push up. You have imbalance here, right? And then you have that gap that is still empty, and this is how they did it. They were trying to dangle the carry here. I knew that the fuck they were doing, but also I don't know if they're gonna hit it. But the way they did it was, they know traders, who are good traders, and there's plenty of more good traders now trading. So To me, that explains this fuckery. But most traders are trying to gun for that. And then most people are trying to buy because it's all-time high. So they have both of that going for themselves. And as you see the break here, we push down, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, final. And then now they just made an all-time high now, I think. Yeah, crooks. So, but the thing is that you expect this probably to happen in the PM session also, right? And then take a look here. Again, the simple flow. That's why when and somebody didn't like my video, the other video on Thursday. When I say it's easy, I'm not saying trading is easy. I'm just saying that at the same time, we make things difficult. So to make it easy, we're looking for this simple flow. I was coming in pre 930 knowing we were going to retrace back down, right? Why? Because first of all, 830, the new week gapped up and popped up the previous day's high, okay? And then just bullied up, right? Which is totally unfair in my opinion as far as price delivery goes. But at the same time, okay, we made a new high and then we're coming back for a higher low. So in that, I'm catching, how could you be a part of it? I'm a part of this move right here. Just to show the trade, just to show that the understanding is that same logic here. You can see that once we break, I understand that breaks here. That's that low. Okay, this is your basic support resistance, right? But we refined it back into and we tap into that imbalance that I talked about. And then you can see 930, I'm ready to just push down. Watch how this is influential later in this understanding. So I got my first minimum target here. This is where I want to take the trade. I have it highlighted from here to here. This projection from here to here comes down. You see the 101.5, and I got it circled and highlighted. You can't fucking miss it. Also, when I'm doing this, I'm also highlighting this liquidity over here. This is the understanding of me getting into this imbalance here. Now, you're going to say, what about this one? And I was shooting for it, but it didn't happen for me. But guess what? That's the game you play. But at least you understand the probability. But, oh, we got that green level right there. Watch how you'll see how it works out later. But me understanding it's Monday, me understanding that this is very difficult when you get to all-time highs. A lot of people don't even trade this. I'm looking for a speaker here, right? I'm basically looking for a simple speaker. You can see the high and the low right here. See this on the 15-minute? We made the highs. We're coming back for that. So when I'm trailing, okay, we get the first imbalance there. I also have this projected, this right here, because this high and that low, we also break that range. So I'm highlighting it, just the bodies for this. And you can see I got 2 to 2.5 right here. So the 2 to 2.5 with the 1 to 1.5, obviously I have 50% of the opening range gap. And this is going to be, this area here is where I'd like to come into. Sure enough, it does, right? So we break down, we get this imbalance right here. We stay in it. We get also this imbalance right here. All right. So we 50%, look at the bodies. And now I'm trying to trail it. And I'm trying to, what do you think my target is? It's generally speaking going to be this next zone. Okay. So I got 3.5 to 4 here. Right. So I'm trying to get to the 3.5 to 4. And I also have the 2 to 2.5. And then I have that green line, which is that high that you should know about already. And then the 25 bottom percent. Obviously, I would love for it to sink in here, right? But we also have NFP this week, so you got to play it smooth. And guess what? I'm trailing. I don't care if I'm right. This was a very smart play on my behalf. Oh, by the way, before I even get down there, this is a 5-minute imbalance. I didn't write it down as 5-minute, but this is a 5-minute. So if you take a look at that, you'll see that look at this right here. We have perfection going on right there. And then all we kept going is lower prices. Then you're getting this retrace back up. It's a simple lower low to lower high to lower low. And I'm trying to catch these drives and I'm trying to catch it down and squeeze out. Sure enough, that's exactly what I did and what happened. But now, if I go into price action today, this shit was fucking sloppy. Super sloppy. But look how they did it. So I ended up getting squeezed out right here, right? What'd they do? Well, they come up and they come back into the first imbalance. They're just squeezing all these breakout levels. This level right here is the same level as that. If I was to draw a line, you'll see it is literally, it's a breakout level. Talk about this fucking every day down there. Perfect. All right. That's also inducing liquidity. I'm aware of that. So anyways, try to catch the sell again. Comes down in here. Look how much we're playing inside these imbalances from bearish and bullish. And we're stuck in there. And now we're at the 50% again. Look at the bodies on this, this imbalance is 952. You got time in here. But respecting it. And what does it do? It comes back up, right? Back into that first imbalance. And you can see the wicks on the 15-minute. That's also details. This inversion here, we blow through it. And then it stops. But guess what? For me, this is shallow, and I know that. I know that's shallow, but I'm not playing with these people. I am done after London, like literally the beginning. Right here, I was out. When I took this out, done. Why? Because it's too difficult because of the fact that this is time distortion, right? And I understand that we're going to come in here. We should come in here. And what is that reason? Well, because it's a breakout area here. And for me, this is shallow. But if it was really bullish, yes, I understand. It could have bought here and kept going, but it didn't keep going. So what I understood was the structure, all right? The structure. I understood this fucking structure. I understood that this was what I was doing. I was trying, and I took this L again to come below here, and it didn't break through. I was just trying to do this. This is all I was trying to do. Okay, if it went a little bit lower, fine. Okay, and then come back up for the fucking, look at the, look at these bastards. So I'm saying that because of the fact that I understand the flow, but look what they did. They did not, oh shit. They did not make that low there. I'm just going to call it this. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. So they came back up and then they made that low. See that? So this was all just a retracement. This high and this low. This is all to confuse you, but really the flow, and I pictured that. I'm like, okay, the lower. Again, I wanted it to happen here. It would have been fine, but they didn't do that. So this is called manipulation and putting their hand in, especially that. I mean, come on, bro. And then comes up into here. So guess what? Double top, breaks, and then they use this. There's the first imbalance for the PM session. Wicks both sides, but in reality, it is still the same structure. Let me draw it again. It's still the same structure. Let me do it again. Just for anyone even new. This is the retracement. And then when they did this bullshit, it made another lower low. Comes back up, sweeps those guys internal. That's what you want to look for. Another fucking lower low. And then obviously blows through. So in that retracement, you got, and that's why, and you incorporate in your rules, drives, right? 3 drives or whatever. But, and you could say, oh, well, these are 3 drives here. Yeah, okay. Well, did it buy from there? Yeah, it did buy. Did it stop right here? Yeah. In these days, in these high resistance days, and they're also setting it up for the later of the day for the push up, because everybody has quit trading here. It's like, fuck off. You know, it's like, go fuck off. But guess what? Look where it bounced. Oh, like to the tick, buddy, right? I still have it on the chart. So this is a beautiful buy. Why? Well, because of the fact that when they made this high and this low with this data raids, it's not even data, it's just fucking news. Fundamental, we'll call it fundamental wicks. They rated that and hit this to the tick, right? And also coupled, we understand that I'm inside this. I don't have it highlighted because it'd be too much shit on my chart. What I updated the chart with was just the blue daily imbalances, right? That's just what I'm using right now. But I'm not even really using it. I'm just, we'll see when news comes and uses it. But in general price action, if this was fucking naked, this would be an imbalance right here, right? And you see we're working inside that level to accumulate to push up. But the way they're doing it is, you know what? Let me draw it for you because of the fact that, I get it. I just didn't want to have it too much on the chart. I knew where they were, though. And that was the other thing I wanted to mention, was that it was exactly damn near 50%. This imbalance on the 1 hour, you also have a 4 hour, right? But with the 1 hour, what's it called? Yeah, with the 1 hour, you'll see that, boom, that green line that was the old high here, that high, okay, right? It's 50% with that imbalance as far as bullish goes. Oh, and look what happens. I'm going to squint it on purpose. Look at the 3.5 to 4. So I was trying to get there and I couldn't make it. But the smart decision is scaling out, or not scaling out, trailing out. So then you got 2 to 2.5. This is why this was my second nice target. Again, I didn't care for this. It didn't have to. Would I have liked to? Great. It did not. But what was this a second option? That's why when this retraced, I understood that this was most likely going to be a lower high. It should have just kept going, right? And I was like, oh, if you did, you did. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But the point is, I'm not trading. But the point is that this coming back down, look to the tick, dude, right? And this is why, I already had it highlighted in the previous trade. So this was my first zone here that I'm looking for here and here with the 50%, tag it, whatever. Would I like to come here? Yes, this is coupled here, measuring, and then with the 50%, and then we end up hitting it to the tick, right? That's not like maybe, right? So what did we do? Well, that's a higher low, that's a higher high, and sure enough, they're retracing back in. So where's 50%, right? We're looking at ranges here. You're not going to probably see it here, right? 50% is here, okay? But they didn't give you that discount. Whoops. So if I was to do this, let me squinch it up here. From this high, yeah, I don't know about making videos anymore. That was also the logic coming back in, all right? And then selling back off again. But yeah, just basically the structure of what I've already painted for you was super fire and what it was, but very difficult price action. All right, sold off from here, this top 25%, and then making that low, bullish imbalance right there with the gap, tags in, you got 50%, pushes straight up, it hunts straight through there, super bullish, gets to the what? This buy is a beautiful trade to what? At 930, because the 930 is there. And guess what? The 930 is also coupled with, okay, so the all-time high is also coupled with that all-time high. They're the same level. So when they came up here, they dangled that carrot. You're in that imbalance. Look on the 15-minute, just wicks, and it sold off from there, right? Because they're trying to come in from the breakout trader here, dangling this, pretending anyone holding the bag here, trying to hit. This is all trader psychology too. And then the midnight level, by the way, is literally right above there. So with this buy, the minimum target for this buy, obviously you got these data that, we'll call it a data high. It's not a data high, but fundamental high. You'll see these equal highs here. And obviously they get into that first imbalance there. Tag, boom, come above, push the hell off. Right, I didn't mark this at all, but just giving you that basic logic. So after we call it hindsight, just so you know, this isn't hindsight right here. I've got these levels already marked, but what am I doing? I'm trying to keep it simple with, drives up for a higher high and a retrace back for a higher low. At the least, that's the play today. That was the play today. The best setup for today, if you were, obviously not trying to trade all day, was that trade. The next best trade, in my opinion, obviously is the raid here, tagging that and then popping up because we were bullish. So at this point, you're like, oh shit, are we bullish or bearish? It's speakering out here. Very, very difficult. I haven't seen a Monday like this in a while. But we understand that, speaker here, it's all fractal. So then you also had a speaker here. And then you don't want to overstay your welcome. But this, if you happen to still be watching the chart, this was a beautiful trade. Right to tagging that 930 level right there. And that was the whole goal there. And then obviously I tell you all the time, people make decisions based off of the 930 where it goes. And sure enough, when we pop above it and we shot up, right? All right, I have talked way too much about that. Hopefully that all makes sense. That's 20 minutes. Dollar is still sinking, sadly. And then we'll get into, this is a little bit of a chaos, but here you'll see that I was already looking for the sells here because we had a lower high with Nas here, pre-market, and then and we were continuing the flow already down. Now, when this popped, when this low happened at 850, all right, time is involved. You had a lower low here with S&P, and then you had a higher low here with Nas. So it retraced it back up. I end up taking this sell here because I'm taking this sell based off of this and order flow, which is a lower high to retrace down. Then we get into this sloppiness here, and then what's it called? I'm even gonna go into this right now, but basically this was, we'll just keep it like this. This was a higher low here, and these were lower lows here, so that pushed us up, right? And then when I didn't draw it, but I wasn't involved. But when I saw that news, I did draw that one. See this? This is a higher high here. These are lower highs, and then we sold off. So we sold off. We all took liquidity out, all right? And then when this happened again here, we had a clear lower low with with Nas, and then higher lows here. And that's why I was saying that this was, for me, the second best trade. But don't get me wrong. Buying this here worked out just fine, right? But I mean, you know, do you know if that's enough drives coming back or not, right? And that's basically how they did it. So yeah, and let's see, moving forward here, Dow just pushing the hell up, right? Now getting into this imbalance here soon. I don't have anything drawn, but notice how there is no body sitting right here on this gap right here. So we have a bearish daily, or weekly, I should say. We have a weekly there. There's like literally no bodies right here, over here on this chart. So coming into here is the next target. You're going to want to see a daily candle close above. So, I mean, you know, I don't want to draw it. I really don't. But just pushing through, okay? Otherwise, I'll make this video fucking 30, 40 minutes. It should probably still be 30 minutes. What's it going to do here? All right, so S&P sealed. So they gapped up and they sealed that, if you've been watching, obviously, that daily imbalance right there that I've got in the pink. And then we retrace back into the breakout level there. And as you can see, they got much closer to that gap. Again, that's a dangled carrot, bro. That's now so here's the funny thing, is that they missed it on purpose just to squeeze as much breakout levels here, and people who got limit orders or whatever, stop orders, busting through. Because I even told you on, it's very difficult for you to find out if it's going to gap up or down in a general. I mean, if the market is sinking, you would expect it to be gapping down. In this case, I was saying it was going to push up because we were pushing up really hard. I expected to hurry up. And then, everybody Sunday night is, firms are getting knocked out. And it's just very logical, very logical. But here, at this point here, what can we do? Well, dangling this on purpose to get as low as they can to then push back up for all this, because everybody is, people think they're smart and trying to sell this, and I caught the top, of the universe, right? It's like, okay, no, pushes up. And now that they did this could be a nice sell model where we're going to come. Notice how they didn't take that wick out. So it's very possible to simply come right back, even to this 50%. With NFP, obviously can go anywhere. It's to me, this is just a little shallow. And maybe they don't. And if they don't, we're looking for maybe a retracement back to here and then pop back up for a new high, continue flow. But using the previous day's high, which that's also the week's high, as you notice, we were pushing right through it here. So logically, I see them coming back here. But all right, and then majors were all kind of also flowing. They had some gaps and they retraced back into them, which is what this is. And then we're kind of here. But look, notice, look at this fuckery. All bearish candles and it really haven't gone anywhere. You're expecting explosive move coming either up or down, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of this, where's the high? Where's the all-time high? That is it right there, right? Yeah. So we bounced above it. And could they slither up and be very difficult? Yeah, sure. Or are they gonna rush down for this breakout area right here? You know, I'm not gonna draw any of this because I don't need to. But so if I was to just kind of go over what's possible here, yeah, I know my chart looks crazy right now. So I have this bullish imbalance here, that bullish imbalance there, and that bullish imbalance there, and this is all on the daily here. So, again, all this done at the end of the day, which is fucking bogus. So you have to understand that these things are likely and possible and, you know, not overstay your welcome. But all right. So, let me delete this, by the way. Well, I'm not going to delete. Well, I want to make it a different color real quick. Just make it lighter. That's a little too light, isn't it? All right, so obviously, because the ones that I'm worried about are the daily. Obviously, this was I understood coming into here was logical, but you know, for them to make it so difficult the way they did today, what I tell them is fuck off. You know, here's my two middle fingers. I'm not gonna be chasing price, and I know what you guys are doing, so you know, go have fun. Right? I have to understand also that this previous day's high, this is Friday's high, that we're coming in. Look at the bodies. Look at the bodies are just pretty much sitting there on that high. So people are making their decisions to buy. This is just a breakout, retrace, and another continuation, and they're making the decisions based off of that. That's why they kept coming down, making it dirty enough for you to get the buy back up there, right? But what do I see here? Well, what I would like to see, again, we were supposed to see a major sell-off. We didn't get that still. Now we're coming in now. It's the last day of the month. You know, last days of the month, generally speaking, they'll start whipping it back down in the beginning of the month. If you're looking at a accumulation, manipulation, distribution, AMD for the next month, you expect the price, if we close, let's just say we just closed right here, well then obviously July 1st, you'd want to see it as a monthly come back down into, in this case, maybe seal this, get into this daily imbalance here. I'm gonna push these longer, push that one longer. You know, and then let me just draw it. So you know, but if we're gonna keep it simple, and they decided not to do that major sell-off, let's just say if they did, I would like to see something like this in this nature, and then push back up, right? I know that seems like rocket science, and if that's not the case, then you know maybe we'll get something like this, you know, and a push back down underneath, and then go and then straight up. Obviously, if it's not going to do that, then you know, it's just, I mean, pretty much buying here. I mean, there's not really much else to say. So, and then I wanted to do a real quick higher time frame analysis for you as well, because of the fact that I was doing that. If I go to a monthly chart, no, I'm gonna go to let me go to a yearly chart real quick. And I know I don't do this enough on this channel, you know, discussing, but let me show you what I did here. I did the retracement here. This is all the way back in 1999, all right? 101.5, 2 to 2.5, 3.5 to 4. Okay. And then I measured, what was the purpose of that? Here, I measured this whole swing back right here, which is obviously 2022. All right. And then you could see that -1's here and -1.5 is right here. And then I also measured this 2024, this month, January, and the retracement here of January. Did I just say that? Oh, these are fucking, oh yeah, years. So this retracement back and then pushing up, I also measured that, and that's over here with this 1 to 1.5. You're like, why are you saying all this? Let me go to a monthly now. It'll be more clear on the monthly here. So for example, you'll see this retracement here. Look how this was COVID, wasn't this COVID? Yeah. So you notice how COVID jumps into this 1 and 1.5 and retraces back. Then it gets to this 2 to 2.5 right here. Yes, it goes over, but it gets in that vicinity and then it retraces back. Then I got it measured here. We push up for this whole month, not whole month, for the whole year of 24. And then we push right into that 3.5 to 4. And then now we've got this retracement back, what I'm showing. So remember, this right here of this retracement from that sell-off in 22, we have 1 and 1.5. We damn near hit it to the, pretty nicely here, and then we sell back off. Now, what would be my levels that I'm looking for as we go continue? Because we have a lot of room potentially on the upside. I would say in between 1 and 1.5. So there's 1 and 1.5 right here. I'm not going to draw the middle right now, but just that would be, well, I guess I could do it. And this is how I make videos long. This isn't going to be perfect, so I'm just going to do this right here. So this level here, 24,112 as an example. I'm assuming that we're shooting straight for that. And then if I was to have made this like have a 50% and a quarter, let me do that now. Where are you? No. Just hold on a second, bro. All right, real quick. As you see, this negative 1.25 standard deviation, this would be most likely a nice next target, which is 23,924. So obviously big figure number, and we're sitting underneath the 23,000. But this would make sense for me. If I go to a daily now, it'll also make a little more sense. But just this whole range back, you can also do the bodies, but I'm not doing that right now. This would be a nice first target here. Second target could be here. Where is that? I didn't split this. 1 second again. All right, so here, as we're coming into this 1 and 1.5, 50% of that is obviously right here. And you can see it's probably, I was going to do this Friday, but I didn't want to do it. And then, these areas here are looking pretty nice there. So I'm expecting price to kind of go straight to it. And then we'll see. Maybe we'll get a retracement back and a continuation. And I'm saying all this because of the fact that I expect July to just be a big mover up. And we can go probably sideways a little bit in September and sell back off for the quarter and then push back up for the next quarter, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else I could say here. And, did I make a video long? Yeah, I did. But, yeah, super fire. And then, again, I don't expect price to be coming back down here. So a lot of this stuff is going to get deleted on my chart. It's not necessary anymore. But for now, I'm just going to leave it. I just want to see what they do with NFP. I don't expect to come all the way back down or anything, but unless they do some real shiesty shit. But everything else is pointing up hardcore. So, I don't even need... I don't need this. I don't need this. Let me close the door. My wife's home. And yeah, I mean, whatever. It's not that many levels there now. But the point is that this last down candle. And like in a perfect world, I'd like to see if we could just come back in here and then that empty gap that of this present week. But because the way they did this, see how this tagged in and then popped up, this is preferably pretty fair. So again, if we're keeping it really simple, this is a retracement. I'd like to just see it just do that again, right? So and as you see the Asia range here, we cleared the top side of it, then we cleared the bottom side of it, and then obviously rolling through. So classic speaker, and you guys take care and God bless.